The United States is in the middle of an intense presidential campaign, and Democratic candidate Hillary Clinton is getting a lot of scrutiny about the relationship with her closest aide, Huma Abedin, and Abedin's relationship with the Muslim Brotherhood. David Brodey talked about this with former Congresswoman Michele Bachmann about the concerns many have about this relationship and what it means for Israel.
What is the main concern that you have as it relates to some of her connections with her mom and her father, or her late father, and some other folks that have been there? What's been the main concern? Does it have to do with security clearance and some of the other issues here too?
Our federal government says you do not get a security clearance as a federal employee if you have family connections or relationship connections that could in some way imperil the security of the United States for obvious reasons. My question was whether or not Hillary Clinton and the State Department had granted Huma Abedin a security clearance. Why? This is why. Huma Abedin's father was a senior member of the Muslim Brotherhood. Her mother was a senior member of the Muslim Sisterhood. The Saudi royal family asked Huma Abedin's parents to leave Michigan, where her father was a PhD and was teaching in Michigan. They asked them to leave Michigan and travel to Saudi Arabia and set up a magazine that ultimately became called the Journal of Minority Muslim Affairs. What this journal did is look at countries that were not Islamic countries, and they tried to push the advancement of Sharia law in countries that were not Islamic. So you have to ask yourself, what was the purpose of the Muslim Brotherhood? The purpose was to establish Islamic Sharia law everywhere. Huma Abedin's parents were senior members in that organization with that purpose. Then you have to ask yourself, what was the purpose of the Journal of Muslim Minority Affairs? In countries where Islam is not the law of the land, like the United States, their goal was to push or advance Islamic Sharia law in countries like the United States. So that was the family business. Her father began the magazine. Her mother also was involved with the magazine. Huma Abedin was listed as an assistant editor, deciding what they would print, what the stories would be on this magazine.
For quite a few years.
For 12 years, she was listed on the masthead. Her brother was on this organization, this magazine, and her sister was. So this was the family business, advancing Islamic Sharia law in countries where Islam was not the dominant religion. The Bible tells us who we surround ourselves with makes a big difference in who we are. Who has Hillary Clinton surrounded herself with? Hillary Clinton's #1 chief aide since the early 1990s is Huma Abedin. While Mrs. Clinton was a United States Senator for 12 years, from 1996 until 2008, Huma Abedin's name was listed as an assistant editor on the masthead of a magazine whose purpose was to advance Islamic Sharia law in non-Islamic countries, i.e. the United States of America. And from what I know of federal law, she never would have been given a security clearance to be anywhere near the First Lady or near a United States Senator with those kind of more than questionable family relationships. Who a president surrounds himself with, I can't even tell you how profoundly important it is. The Bible tells us whoever speaks into the king's ear, that's who you need to be praying for, those counselors. Take a look at Hillary Clinton. Huma Abedin, the people that she is surrounding herself with, when she is president of the United States, the enemies of Israel will be lifted up. I believe the enemies of biblical Christianity and biblical Judaism will be at risk.